Hello Hobo Nation, welcome back to another Hobo Reviews. I know I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and yeah, honestly, that's going to change. I'm going to be doing more reviews on here. I'm going to be doing more opinion-based things on life in general. So yeah, this is going to be like my opinions section of my social media, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. So just a disclaimer, with all these reviews, they're my opinion, and it's based off of facts that I have seen, read, experienced, etc. I do give the developers, if they ever see this and would like to come back on and be like, hey, look, I don't agree with what you're saying, or, you know, I think you have something misunderstood, and then they want to come on, do an interview, and give their side or give their opinions on things, I will allow that, and they just gotta hit me up, be like, hey, when can we do this? And yeah, I will go ahead and put another video up with them just to clarify, right? Which, as you guys know, previously we've had some misunderstandings with certain developers and certain games. Not gonna mention any names and or games, but you know which ones we're talking about. And we've given them opportunities to do things, and they would rather just sit there and discuss in private and try to make it seem like, well, let me put, not discuss. They would rather cuss us out in private, and yeah, they can go fuck themselves. Anyway, yeah, let's get started with. We're gonna start with Squadron 42. So Squadron 42 and Star Citizen are pretty intertwined. One's just single player, one's multiplayer, and they're both based off the same lore. But we're going to start with Squadron 42 since that one does have a little bit more of a spicy history, I would like to say. So let's get started. Let me just hop on over to the Wikipedia page. And the Wikipedia page we're going to be posting in the description down below, so you guys can read along and or read on your own time, just so you guys can get better information. Because we're not going to be reading everything off the Wikipedia page, since most of it does have to do with the game and how it plays. So Squadron 42 is a story-based single-player game set in the Star Citizen fictional universe, described by the developers as a spiritual successor to Wing Commander. It is being developed by the Foundry 42 Studios under the supervision of Chris Roberts' brother Aaron, who had already worked with him on the Wing Commander series and led the production and development of games like Privateer 2, The Darkening, and Starlancer. It was originally announced for release in 2014 during a Kickstarter campaign, but significantly expanded the game production features have led to postponement in mid-2019. CIG, also known as Cloud Imperium Games, stated as the beta release was planned for Q3 of 2020. The developers state that the interactive storyline centers on an elite military unit and involves the player characters enlisting in the United Empire of Earth Navy, taking part in the campaign that starts with a large space battle. The player actions will allow them to optionally achieve Star Citizenship, citizenship in the UEE and affect their status as a Star Citizen persistent universe, but neither of the two games has to be played in order to access the other. In addition to the space combat simulation, the first-person shooter elements report features including a conversation system that affects relationships with non-player pilots, an option cooperative mode, which initially postponed in the Kickstarter but later changed to be a separate mode added after release. The game is planned to be released in multiple episodes, and according to the developers, will be offered an estimate of 20 hours of gameplay for Squadron 42 Episode 1, with about 70 missions worth of gameplay. Squadron 42 Episode 2, Behind Enemy Lines, and Episode 3 will launch later. The cast of Squadron 42 include Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, Mark Strong, Liam Cunningham, Andy Stirk, John Rev Davies, Jack Houston, and Ben Mendelsohn. The first two I actually believe I've heard of before, amongst others. Hold on. Let me just click on this real quick and see. Yeah, holy shit. They actually got some names. So we're going to drop down here real quick, just because I do want to get into the issues with Squadron 42, right? So this is the Crytek lawsuit, which, as many of you know, Crytek runs the CryEngine which I believe this one all started over CryEngine 3 and licensing agreements. So Crytek, the developers of CryEngine, filed a lawsuit in December 2017 for copyright infringement and breach of contract against Cloud Imperium Gaming, specifically complaints by Crytek that include the Cloud Imperium Gaming continued to use CryEngine after the announcement migration to Amazon Lumberyard, failing to disclose modifications to CryEngine using the same engine for two separate products instead of one, and improper removal of the CryEngine logo from game materials. The initial complaint asked for direct and indirect damages, as well as the permanent injunction against further use of the CryEngine in any Star Citizen or Squadron 42 materials. Cloud Imperium Gaming called the lawsuit meritless, while Crytek stated that it has been left with no option but to protect its intellectual property in court. As the lawsuit continued, Cloud Imperium Gaming argued that Crytek was selectively and misleadingly appropriating the agreement made between the two companies. Cloud Imperium Gaming further asserted that exclusive use of the engine did not extend to a requirement to the use of that engine, and that the original agreement barred either party from seeking damages. Cloud Imperium Gaming asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit in January of 2018, but in the August of that same year, the judge denied the dismissal, with the exception of a single claim in the pursuit of punitive damages. However, in December 2018, the judge dismissed claims regarding Cloud Imperium's right to use another game engine and the obligation to promote CryEngine. So, let's just go over the first two that we've read before we're finishing. So, pretty much what is going on here is, and I'm no lawyer, so don't sit here and be like, oh my god, but he said. No. So this is, again, my opinion. Crytek seems to be a little butthurt that they switched engines, if I'm reading this correctly. And pretty much, yeah. For a game like Star Citizen and Squadron 42, which is supposed to be a one of its kind in this genre, CryEngine was going to make a lot of money, or Crytek, correction, was going to make a lot of money for them being able to be like, made with CryEngine 3, or whatever, right? But they switched over to Amazon's stuff, which, if I remember correctly, Amazon Lumberyard is pretty much like a, pretty much close, if not like duplicate to fucking CryEngine anyway, so fuck off. And yes, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get comments saying they're totally different. But so anyway, I feel like Crytek is trying to just sit here and like leech a bunch of money off of Star Citizen, which I think, didn't they just like surpass 300 million or something in funding? We can actually check that real quick. So we're gonna go to their Robert Space Industries page. We're gonna go to wrong thing. I hit the wrong thing. We're gonna go to development and we want to go to funding. So funds raised is $303,032,264, and they have 2,725,880 citizens in the verse. Alright, cool. So we'll get into this later, but anyway, yeah, so these people are just trying to like take money, trying to get some free cash. Fuck it. Alright, Cloud Imperium asks. Alright, yeah, we were at that part. So yeah, I feel like this is just, yeah, Crytek throwing a temper tantrum. After an additional year of litigation, Crytek filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit with prejudice or legal fee without prejudice or legal fees in January 2020. So I'm guessing they decided they. Oh wait, hold on. With an option to resume the lawsuit following the release of Squadron 4. Yeah, see, it's a money grab. That's what this is. And honestly, for Crytek to do this, I feel like that's, and this not to be like bigger news than it actually is. I feel like Crytek should feel a brunt. A lot of indie developers should see this and be like, yeah, look, we're not going to use your engine because it looks like you're going to try to steal something from us if you think it's a good enough game. Cloud Imperium Gaming countered with the motion to dismiss with $500,000 in legal expenses paid by Crytek. During the dismission motions, Cloud Imperium Gaming submitted an email sent from Amazon to Crytek in May 2019, saying that the company granted a license to its Lumberyard engine in 2016, which included rights to CryEngine in their license agreement. In February 2020, Crytek and Cloud Imperium Gaming filed a settlement proposal with a 30-day request to file a joint dismissal of the lawsuit with undisclosed terms. So yeah, pretty much sounds like Crytek realized they fucked up and they immediately backtracked. Alright, so now with that being said about Squadron 42, we're going to go over to its roadmap for Squadron 42. I'm going to show you guys why I believe that even though they say Quarter 3 should show the beta of Squadron 42, why I believe that it's not going to happen. So as you can see here, they have Squadron 42 Quarter 2 2019 complete, but they are still working on Quarter 3 for 2019, which means they are a year behind, guys. And that's no help due to the lawsuit that happened with them. And if you look under features, we can go ahead and look and be like, okay, yeah, Quarter 3, they still have 3 items in development for it, and that will finish out Quarter 3. And then they have, they still have like 3 other sections that they're working in that have to be done before the game can be put into beta. Let's see if it will let me scroll. Yep. Okay, correction. 4 others, because beta is pretty much just the final stages of polishing and stuff before release. So yeah, I would suspect 2021 is when Quarter 3 of 2021 is when you should see this game come out in its beta form, which will lead us into Star Citizen. And yes, we are going to read over Star Citizen, and we're going to read over the background, we're going to read over the Kickstarter and early release, and we're going to go over delays, and then we're going to go over funding, and of course, its issues with refunds and policy changes. And then we might even go on reactions of the public and reactions of the press. I don't know. So this is already getting a little bit longer than I wanted. So, background. Star Citizen is under development by Cloud Imperium Games, as we know, a studio founded by Chris Roberts, Sandy Gardner, and... Sorry, dude, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm not going to try to show your name. We're just going to call you OF for now. So, OF, in 2012. While working at Origin Systems in 1990 to 96, Robert became known for his groundbreaking Wing Commander franchise. The game is Roberts' first title since 2003, Freelancer, which was developed by Roberts as a sequel to the 1999's Starlancer Digital Anvil. Roberts' studio at the time experienced a protracted development process which would lead to Microsoft's acquisition of the company and Roberts' exodus from the project. The other founders of Digital Anvil, Tony Zurozek and Aaron Roberts, completed the game, which was well received but noted for its lack of promised features that Roberts had claimed would be included. Both Zurozek and Aaron Roberts would join Cloud Imperium Gaming to work on the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42 modules, respectively. Roberts had since claimed that Star Citizen is a spiritual successor to both Wing Commander and Freelancer, a claim that has been noted by the media. Development of Star Citizen began in 2011 with CryEngine 3. Chris Roberts stated that Minecraft's success in 2011 led him to begin development on a project that used an alpha model of release to sell the game and add to it over time. Let me stop right there and add my little quip here. While an alpha model is good, and we've seen it work with Minecraft and other games, I am going to state that a lot of companies are starting to use this as an excuse to release garbage and then go, well, it's alpha. It's alpha. And not give any type of bug fixes and stuff like that, which we are actually going to go over with this game. So yeah. CryEngine was chosen over another choice, Unreal Engine 4, as Roberts believed that CryEngine was more mature at the time that they began development. Several contractors and outsourced development companies such as CGBot Raymore, and Void Alpha and Behavioral Interactive were hired to build an early prototype of the game in concept art. The goal of the prototype was to gain outside investment, but following the success of the Double Fine Adventure Kickstarter campaign, Roberts decided to crowdfund the game instead. After hiring OF, Ben Lesnick, and David Swafford. Cloud Imperium Games was formed with the intent to build the initial campaign. Star Citizen was officially announced on GDC on October 10, 2012. During the website they had built for the crowdfunding for the campaign crashed. Following this GDC presentation, the company announced a Kickstarter campaign on October 18, 2012. So it started as Kickstarter in 2012. With the initial debut, Star Citizen was marketed as everything that made Wing Commander and Privateer Freelancer special. The proposed game was claimed to include a single-player story-driven mode called Squadron 42, which would include drop-in and drop-out of co-op, a campaign-hosted persistent universe mode, and a self-hosted, mod-friendly multiplayer mod. No subscription and no pay-to-win mechanic. The initial estimate target release date was stated for November 2014, and here we are in 2020, 6 years later, and it's still yet to be seen. With the proposal features available at launch, additional promised features including virtual reality support, flight stick support, and a focus of high-end PC hardware. While the initial release would be targeted for Microsoft Windows, Robert stated that Linux support was a goal for the project after its official release. As early development continued, Chris Roberts announced in 2013 that they would be releasing a hangar module, a way for players to explore an enclosed space and some of the ships that have been completed, a module that released 6 days later on August 29th, and it was considered the first drivable of the project, or first deliverable of the project, correction. And this would mark the beginning of Star Citizen module development processes, and while smaller pieces of the game would be released leading up to the release of the Persistent Universe. During the early period, it was announced that the game would utilize the artificial intelligence system, not going to try to say that, developed by Moon Collider. The game was produced in a distributed development process by Cloud Imperium Gaming and Foundry 42, with studios of Austin, Frankfurt, Santa Monica, Winslow, and Derby. Additional partners that have been that are or have been working on the project include Turbine, Virtuos, and Wernbytes. Yes. So of course it's going to go over its different things, but we're not going to go over that. I do want to state that for as big of a development company that is working on this, I am surprised about the amount of delays and extended development that this game has gone through. It does show that even though you are getting funded to an amazing, like, indie developers would fucking foam at the mouth for $300 million to make their game, which most of them barely get in the hundreds of thousands. So, while it is a big game, it does have a big budget and a big development team, and it does seem like the fact that we are in 2020 and this game has started its crowdfunding in 2012, and we're only on edition 3 of the alpha, it does make you worry. But anyway, during the 2012 campaign, Chris Roberts suggested that the game might be released in 2014. At the time, Roberts said that really it's about consistent iteration from the launch. The whole idea was being consistently updated. It isn't like the old days where you have to have everything in the kitchen sink at launch, because you were going to come back to it for a while. We're already 1 year and another 2 years, plus puts us at a total of 3, which is ideal. More things, yada yada yada, whatever, right? As development progressed, key features were initially pushed from their project release dates. The Area Commander module, originally scheduled for 2013, was delayed 6 months to its initial June 2014 release. Star Marine was originally scheduled for 2015 and was delayed till December 2016. An update for the game's Persistent Universe module Alpha 3.0 was delayed from December 2016 to 2017. Since Alpha 3.0's release, no official release date has been set for Star Citizen. Through the Alpha component continues to receive updates. So I am going to state, if it's been in 3.0 since 2017 and we are only on 3.10, or still not even on 3.10, I think we're still on 3.9, with 3.10 coming out soon, this game is definitely way behind. For it to be in a 3.0 stage and still only have 1 star system out of the, I don't know, I would say about 50 it's going to have. I believe they're saying it's going to be in the hundreds, but I'm not that far into this to give you that much. Squadron 42 is now a standalone single-player component game, which is initially scheduled for its 2014 release, and we're now in the second quarter of 2020, but the game was later pushed out to the third quarter of 2020. Yeah, that I highly doubt they're going to get everything they need to get done by the third quarter of 2020. Just saying. I would like to go over the funding, but we already kind of know. It was a Kickstarter. It did get private funding from billionaire Clive Calder, purchased 10% of the stakes in Cloud Imperium Gaming for $46 million, placing the company at a $4,600 million valuation. Let's see. So yeah, whatever, right? We're going to go into the refund and policy change, which, holy crap, guys. If you look at this, 2015, 2016, we're now in 2018 into this thing with this going on. And pretty much in 2015, after, a year after it was supposedly to be released, some of the backers were like, yeah, man, I want my money back. And a survey posted by the Star Citizen message board revealed that as many as 25% of the game backers expressed the interest and in the process of getting their money back. A survey received that 1,173 responses. Initially, refunds were being processed on a case-by-case basis, but on June 10th, 2016, the terms of service had been amended to remove the passage regarding refund eligibility. In the previous terms of service, backers could procure a refund if the game had not been released within 18 months of its original estimated delivery date. The revision changed the terms and reflected the backers that could only procure refunds if the project was abandoned by developers. Exceptions to this change covered backers who spent their money prior to the terms change and stated that they would retain the 18-month clause if they pursued a refund. A month later, it was reported that backers filed a formal complaint with the Los Angeles County District Attorney and the Los Angeles Country Department of Consumer and Benefit Affairs after his attempt to gain a refund failed following the terms of service change. So right here, I'm, again, not a lawyer, but I feel like if you put it in a terms of service and it's a contract that when I give you money, if you don't have your shit done when you say it's going to be done, 18 months later it's still not done, I should be able to get my money back. If you go ahead and change that afterwards and go, oh, we haven't abandoned the project, that's on you. Like if I hired you to build if you were an architect, I hired you to build a building, right? And you're like, okay, understand there might be some setbacks. If it's not done in 18 months, we'll either give you a discounted price or, you can go ahead and hire a different company free of charge, right? And then 18 months after the project's due date, and you go, well, we haven't abandoned it, so we're not going to fucking leave it, and you're still going to pay us. I feel like that is a bad place to be, because in that sense, it's cut and dry. You're getting your money from the courts. Alright, so the backer initially stated that he had been interested in the project for its virtual reality support, which would help them enjoy the game with their disability upon postponement of virtual reality support. The changes yada yada yada, right? So pretty much it's the straw that broke the camel's back, and the Cloud Imperium Games to process the $2,550 refund as a backer had not been able to download the game's client and therefore not accepted the revised terms of service. So, yeah, this is what I hate about online games too, is they can change their terms of service, right? And even though it was a contract when you first purchased the game, right? It's scrappy, shut it. So as soon as you go and you sit there and you're talking to them and you're like, yeah, as soon as you open our game, it's a change of term of service, and you agree to it. I feel like it should definitely be, if you change your term of service, you have to make it bright as day, broad daylight. Hey, yeah, this is what we changed. Do you still agree? And if you click deny, well then, oh well, you get your refund. Some shit like that. And yeah, just so much of this is just people bitching and complaining. Which honestly, I did put money into this game. And I recently put money into this game. It's not like I sat here and was here from day one. But anyway, we're going to go over to the development page, right? So this is their Star Citizen development page. And 3.9 is already in, so we're not going to deal with this. But we're looking at 3.10, which they're going to be releasing in 3.11 for quarter 3. They still don't have anything for quarter 4, and this is the one thing I do not like with them is, yeah, sure, they'll let you know what's soon to come, but they won't give you a date, a planned date. They'll just say for a quarter. So, as you guys know, for a quarter to take, and not to give us a certain date, like there's like July. Well, now they're saying July, even though they're saying, oh yeah, 3.10 is coming. July. Okay, when in July? Sometime in July? Cool. You have to be able to give us a permanent time or some goal that you're shooting for. And just underneath it be like, dates are subject to change. It gives your guys' developers more of a set goal, knowing that people are expecting it at this time, which honestly I feel like that would give you the best production of your crew. But I digress. So what are my pros and cons to Star Citizen? Well, my first pro to the game, right? So I'm going to go over the pros first because, is that it has an amazing level of detail, right? Very, very well on the level of detail to the point where you can even go into the bathrooms. You can't use them, of course, but you can go into them. They have them there. The details there to where, oh yeah, well this is a sink, this is a shower, this is a toilet, this is storage, like fantastic level of detail. While most of it you still can't use, that's on its own side. And I guess could be considered a con that, it's still to the point where they have all this detail, but most of it's just, oh, look, you could see it, not use it. Detailed lore. So the lore for this game, actually, let me see if I can pop on over to it. I'm trying to remember what the fuck it's called. I think it's in the comm links. So if we go to the comm links, we can go to... maybe not that. Maybe series. Lore Maker's Guide, maybe? Search. Okay, no, these are like how they're going to things. Last generation, no, that's not it. Lore Builder, maybe? I feel like it's like Time Capsule or something. Either way, guys, like their lore starts all the way back in 2072 and goes all the way to present year, which I think is like 2095 or something. It's ridiculous how much lore they've built into this game. And then the ship designs. So that is one thing that really got me going into saying, yes, I want to put money into Star Citizen, is the ships. So you can actually have multi-person crews, and it's planned for multi-person crews. Is like, oh yeah, you actually need to use them. It's not just, hey, yeah, you 4 people can fly in the same plane. But you actually have to use people. You have to, it's more of a, you need people to survive. You can't just do everything on your own. Or if you want to do everything on your own, you're not going to make it as big as other players. Now for the cons, right? So the bug fixes aren't regular. We've been having issues with server side and with just trading posts in general, to where sometimes they won't even show what you're supposed to be doing, right? Or the server will just die randomly and you'll lose thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars in game, of course, not in IRL. But it's like, okay, cool, it just took me 3 hours to make that $100,000, and now I lost it in a matter of seconds because either I was trading something and the game just crashed, or my plane just disappeared. Fun times. And you would expect, hey, yeah, those are bugs we want to fix right away so we can continue getting support from these people, right? You know, they did put their hard-earned money towards our game. Let's try to make it nice. But no, it's almost like they want to only release bug updates when they release their quarter updates, which is too long for issues. And I've only been playing this game for about a month. But the fact that since I've started, it still hasn't had any bug fixes for the server errors, which of course they don't also release enough information like, hey, look, if you buy the game right now, just understand we have server issues, you know, things aren't going to be as playable. Next is slow development. Like I said, they're doing it by quarter, which in relative sense is better than certain developers, but the fact that they are, you know, still in the threes in an alpha game that they've had out, or they've been working on since 2014. It's been 6 years, and you still haven't really gotten much to the game. Like, even a lot of the core mechanics, such as trading, scavenging, pirating, your basic jobs, right? They still aren't implemented to the point where they need to be. And I feel like you did a lot of time on the lore, and it's great that you did a lot of time on the lore. But it's just, holy crap, guys, like, come on. Next is, even to buy the game right now, it was super fucking confusing. Like, when me and my friend were trying to find it out, we legit had to go on YouTube and, like, watch a video on how to purchase the game. Which, you know, because we came to this page here, right? And I want to show you guys. So, you come to this page, and you're like, alright, cool. How the fuck do I buy this? You're like, cool, let me click fly now. And then it leads you to this, which you're like, okay, cool. So is this my only option? And then come to find out, like, when you go to this, you're like, okay, there's two. There is not two. There's a lot more. So you really want to click on Pledge Store, right? So Pledge Store is always going to be up here. And you want to see game packs, and then you want to view all of them, right? So you can do either Squadron 42 as a standalone, which is the single player. I highly recommend you buy one of these starter packs and just get the Star Citizen, which is the multiplayer one, even though it's still kind of garbage. But yeah, so the Avenger Titan starter pack gives you a nice one player vessel with a cargo deck, right? And you have the Mustang and the Aurora, which both can carry cargo, just not as efficiently. You have like the C8X Pisces Expedition starter pack, then you have the Mustang, the Aurora, Avenger Stalker, and it just keeps going down, right? And you can see the most expensive one's like $1,000, and it's an exploration ship, comes with the Kraken Expedition, comes with the Anvil Pisces, comes with the Tumbler Cyclone, the Terrapin, the Drake Dragonfly, and the Freelancer Dur, which is an exploration ship. So it comes with a lot of stuff. Also contains the digital download for Star Citizen, comes with the industrial hangar, the Squadron 42 digital download, and the lifetime insurance starting money of 20,000 UEC, which they have AUEC right in, which is the alpha version of currency, which means you're not really going to be using this right now. It's going to be whenever the game finally fucking comes out. And then the Kraken Expedition plushie, which I'm not too sure what the fuck that is, nor do I want to spend the $1,100 to find out. But yeah, guys, so it does have a lot of stuff to it. And that factor of it just being so fucking confusing. And when you finally get in the game, it takes a while to learn how to fly things, how to do jobs, what jobs you should do, and I'm going to state it's a lot further confusing than it should be, I believe. I believe, like, when you first click here, if I wasn't in my account, right, instead of it just being right here and, you know, yeah, it scrolls down with you, whatever, right, it should be like, hey, motherfucker, right here, in big bad letters, buy the game now, you know. But hey, maybe that's just me. Maybe me and my friend were the idiots who didn't know how to do this shit. Maybe you guys will find it a lot easier. Who knows? But yeah, so that's my opinion on the game. Is it still something I would suggest to buy? Yes. Would I suggest to buy it in 3.9? No. I would say wait till 3.10, see if the bug fixes come out that they need. But if you really just want to fly around, test out the stuff, 3.9 still lets you fly. You can still fly. I wouldn't do any of the jobs. Wouldn't try to sit there and get a new ship because it's just not worth it at this point. 3.10 might be different. Who knows? And yeah, if you guys like the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell, because, yeah, apparently that's a thing now. And go ahead and follow us on the Twitch, on the Discord, and on the Facebooks and Twitters. All that will be in the links down below as well, with the Wikipedia and the RobertSpaceIndustries.com link, so you guys can decide for yourself if you would like to purchase this fine game. I do expect it to have a lot of... I do expect when it does come out, or even probably 3 years from now, this game should have enough in it to where it will be impressive and it will be ahead of its time. But for now, there is a lot of controversy around the game, or there was a lot of controversy around the game, and there still is a very slow development and a development team that doesn't seem to really know what to what you should expect from it. They do post a lot on their YouTube page. They do weekly roundups or whatever, but I do feel like even then you need to really be like super into the game, like this is your life type thing, for any of that to really matter to you. And as for the casual gamer on this, you're just going to be like, why is nothing happening? But for that, that's where we're going to end the video. I'm sorry, it's been like almost 40 minutes just explaining shit, and I feel like I've rambled a lot of this time. But yeah, peace out, guys.